The song that I came to sing remains unsung to this day. I have spent my days in stringing and unstringing my instrument. The time has not come true. The words have not been rightly set. Only there is the agony of wishing in my heart. The blossom has not opened. Only the wind is sighing by. It takes courage to recognize that the purpose for why you came here, what is a human life? What is your life? Were you just an accident? Are you just a fleeting, moving phenomenon that is not supposed to inquire deeply into the nature of life and figure out what is the purpose of all this? Or were you meant to know something? Were you meant to experience something? It takes courage to look back at your entire life and say, I have wasted almost all my time just simply stringing and unstringing my instrument. I don't even know that I could have produced music through this. I thought the entire purpose of life is to string and unstring my instruments. For most human beings, life is an endless preparation because they don't know what is it that they're preparing for. Preparing itself is their life. That is why if you were to tell people to stop, you've already done quite a bit. Why don't you stop and reflect on what you have done and see if your actions have contributed to some sense of completion in your life? At least, is it pushing you in the right direction where you are feeling more and more contented, more relaxed, more connected with life? Or are you getting more anxious, more disturbed? When you can see clearly that your actions are not leading to fulfillment, but simply more actions, more desires, more thought processes without any purpose, without any clear end. There is no clearly defined understanding of the journey of life and the traveler and the purpose of all this. Hence, you are simply going through actions because you don't know how to stay still. You are dreaming and desiring because you don't know how to stay without desires. If you're not thinking, you don't know where to see your life. In silence, you don't see a reflection of yourself. Because to see yourself as a part of silence, as a part of stillness, takes time, takes a deeper understanding of life. To recognize the subtlest of things that are happening on the inside requires certain skill sets. It is not directly available. You're not born with this skill. You have to acquire it. The skills that you possess are survival skills. All the senses moving outward. You are more adept at doing things on the outside than on the inside. You are good at organizing things as long as it's visible. But when things are not visible, when you have to navigate an invisible realm, where you have to draw from other faculties other than just your thinking, you're lost. Otherwise, the purpose of life, the meaning of life is infused in everything you're doing. It is not that you have to discover an entirely different purpose, so different that you stop breathing. That is not the objective of longing for completion. Longing for completion is to see what is it that I am missing in this moment that can add more meaning and more purpose to my life. It's the same action. It is not the action that is the problem. It is blind action, unconscious action. Action because somebody wants you to act. An action that you do not understand the consequences of. Where does it fit in? How important is this for my life? Or is it helping someone else? Or am I doing this just to survive? Any action performed just to earn money, just to survive, naturally will not add any meaning to your life. Now, when you look back at your life, if your entire life has been just a series of activities, either you have to say, that is the purpose of my life, I've accomplished such and such thing, that is good enough for me. Or you need to have the courage to say, I've wasted my whole life. It is only in relation to somebody else's accomplishment, my accomplishment seems something important. In human language, in human experience, it has some value. But existentially, I have not moved any closer to understanding my life. If I was meant to sing my song, if I was meant to play this instrument as an expression of joy, because I have not done that, my life is filled with regrets. The song that I came to sing remains unsung to this day. It is a deep emotion which is stinging when you look back at your entire life, and if you're able to say that the song that I came to sing, I could not sing. I've only been preparing and preparing. I have spent my days in stringing and unstringing my instrument. The time has not come true. The words have not been rightly set. Only there is the agony of wishing in my heart. The blossom has not opened. Only the wind is sighing by. Now, this is a reflection of an honest poet. A poet deep down knows that there is no completion to his poetry because it is a longing, it is a desire to connect with something higher. When he actually connects, when he actually becomes one with that something deeper, there is no need to sing. There is no need to use words to express that oneness. You have become that. The object of your love and your desiring for that love has become one. When you are exactly where you're supposed to be, you are in just a state of awe. You just want to experience it. The very fact that you are still a poet, you're still longing for union, says that you have not become one with the truth that you're searching for. So either you have to drop your identity as a poet and go naked, go empty, hollow, all out in search of this truth, or you keep on holding on to your identity as a poet and know that at the end of your life you will have regrets because you were unable to drop your obsession to describe truth, to talk about it, to sing it, but you did not have the courage to go straight towards it. A poet understands merger is possible only when he can surrender himself completely to that process. Three main themes he is touching upon: regret, work, and purpose of life. Now, is there another way of approaching this real sensation of having done nothing useful in life? It is invariable that you will come to this point, this crossroads in your life, where you will see from this point onwards, you have to take a completely different path, the direction of which is entirely different. Up until now, you have been moving in one direction. Now, you have to make the shift. When you are at that point, what determines the course of your life? What separates one individual from another? Regret will keep you on the same path, but with different way of looking at it. Because regret puts you in the past. It will not bring you to the present, and it will not put you into the future. Regret is, in a way, already accepting your defeat. There is nothing more I can do. This is it. In this sense, regret is not a useful emotion. It is a useful starting point, because if you are not even regretting, if you are not even looking at your entire life in its totality and saying, now it's time to set things right. It's time to do the right things, no matter how painful it is, no matter how difficult it is. I will go and make those changes because now I see a new purpose for my life, a new vision, a new light. Regret is a good starting point. But if you are stuck in that feeling, you will not see the path ahead. You will not see wherever you are, there is another path forking. Because no matter how strongly you are attached to this feeling of regret, it is a fact that there are many things you have done in life, knowingly or unknowingly, that has made life beautiful. No life is a complete waste. It appears like a complete waste when compared to certain things. You suddenly realize that the path has been different, but you did not have a choice. You were not introduced to a direct path to happiness, freedom, bliss, and joy. Now you are being introduced to that path. It's creating this sense of regret. You should actually rejoice in this feeling. If you actually think about it, it is a beautiful, positive environment you are in now, where something new, a new fragrance, is reminding you of all the rotten stench of the past. It is making you reflect on the past, not as an accomplishment, not as something that has to be glorified, but something that has to be transcended. What a beautiful place to be when you can look at your entire past and say, it is an utter waste. While you can be stuck in this feeling of regret for the past, if you actually see what's happening there, a new path is opening. And this new path is not about doing something completely different. It's not about stopping your previous life. It's not about destroying and sabotaging all that you have created. This new path is basically a reminder of something you have forgotten. Reminder that regret belongs to your mind. Regret is not an existential feeling. It's a mental state. You cannot be there forever. But there is another place right there beside regret where you truly belong. The path has always been there. In fact, they've been running parallel. You were just choosing to engage more with the mind, ignoring this other parallel path. Both are moving in the same direction somewhere, but one is blissful, one is joyful. For those who are watching from outside, you are exactly the same person walking along a single path. But being on this path of the mind and the path of the self are two completely different paths as far as internal experience is concerned. On one path, there is just a feeling of not having done enough, feelings of regret. You only see the mistakes that you have done. On the other path, you see all these mistakes, all your actions, all your failings as a surface phenomenon. You are on a path where every moment you know how to reflect on life deeply and find meaning and joy.